my name is Em, and I'm going to give you a tour of my creative space and do my best to do visual descriptions as I go. My creative space is integrated into my home, so I'm going to show you a few different spots in the house and what they all do. First is my living room. This is my big wall. It's the only wall in the house where art is never stored. It's only worked on. You can sort of see that it is very dirty. It's covered in paint swipes and, yeah, little bits of paint and years old stuck on newspaper from old projects, stuff like that. There were sculptures on here until like 2 days ago, but they're at the gallery. So then we turn to my couch where I have a rolling table. Sort of like a hospital table that rolls underneath the couch or bed. So I often sit here on the couch. The couch is like piled up with pillows and blankets, and behind the couch there's a large wall of bookshelves. On those bookshelves are a lot of my drawing and small painting supplies. So along the bookshelves here are tacks and pencils and colored pencils, glasses, and then on the shelf down we have miscellaneous sketchbooks and notebooks, and then a current project. This is one of the current projects I'm working on, which is kind of haphazardly stored on this shelf, is called Illegible Library, where I'm collecting all these books from free piles and using them for painting, cutting out all the letters and painting over the letters and faces and things. Sometimes above the television, there's a dog. Above the television, sometimes art gets put up there too. Sculptures and wall sculptures and things. And then in this corner of the living room, there is what is technically a plant growing shelf, but I use it for my book projects because book projects, when you're painting them, have to dry open. So this is 1, 2, 3 layers of open books. Each one of them is painted and cut. I will try to show what that looks like. Different things. These are all just like a drying rack. So I will paint and draw over on the couch, and then I will bring the books over here to dry. So that's the living room. When there is work being done on the big wall, I will roll the hospital table style over here and use it as a shelf so I can sit or stand using that table. It has an adjustable height, and so I will work on this wall. So I'm going to walk down the hallway from my living room into my hallway. This is currently one of the big storage areas for art. So behind me and sort of on the wall all around me are round embroidered COVID simulation models. Each one is embroidered from recycled fabric, donated thread, and this reclaimed tulle. So there's 2 layers of tulle here, and then each one of the, I think there's 20 more? I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Some of them have more like hair-like textures. Some of them have more rope-like textures. Some of them have yarns, beads. They come in a lot of different colors. Some of them have a surface embroidery that includes different bits of metal, rings, or beads. This one has paper in it. This one has wood. So those are like all mixed media, and they all stored here. These were all made in the couch spot that I showed earlier. These are for a future project I'm going to do with long COVID people, folks who are physically isolated, who are experiencing long COVID. I'm still developing the project, but eventually these pieces will go to people who have long COVID, and that will be part of a sort of social practice project where the sculptures and the embroidery and the art then go into people's homes. So this is my bedroom. The bedroom is where I experiment with installations. I am sitting on my bed, and I'm going to lay back, and we're going to look up at the ceiling if I can flip. Yeah, I'll just flip like this. So we can see that there are sculptures hanging from the ceiling, blobby, spiky. This one is like silver and has earrings dangling from it. On the ceiling here we have flat crushed paper assemblage that's very colorful and has a lot of like paper weaving. It's in a very amorphous form that's swirling, sort of galaxy arm like around the light in the center. This is an experiment in installing for people who spend a lot of time in bed. Specifically, my goal with these is to get a commission or a residency for a hospital where people to spend like a lot of time looking up at very blank ceilings. So creating these ceiling pieces for people who, need that access. And then over here, again, more sculptures, experimenting with hanging things from the ceiling, experimenting with painting. This is a newspaper painting that I made during the 2020 and 2021 COVID lockdowns. I have a whole series of paintings called the Pandemic Papers, where I used all the newspaper headlines from those times and images and things from the newspaper, the physical paper newspaper, and created them, or sort of collaged them together into large scale paintings on the big wall. And this one is round. It's a perfect circle, or as perfect as you can get. And there's a black section on the bottom and a white strip on the top where there's a roller coaster. And there's sort of a smattering of people sort of coming down into the black section. It looks as almost like they're standing in black water. I'll get a little bit closer. It says we can't go back. It has a bunch of dates on it. And then there's a large cup with an orange that's spilling out onto a few spoons. And next to it in large text says the best day ever. So this room really acts as my place to try different installations together. How do they feel for people who are in bed? How do they feel for me? Sorry, 1 second. I know you said rough, so I'm trying to make it, I'm not trying to be too precious about it. So then we're going to walk out of my bedroom into the hallway where the COVID pieces are stored, and then we're gonna go downstairs to my studio proper. Let's not fall down the stairs while we're carrying a camera. So I've gone down one flight of stairs, and now we're gonna go into my studio. I live in San Francisco, and it's very common for houses to have unwarranted construction, so the ceiling is quite low in here. I think it's 7 feet. And my studio has 3 main stations. One is my large desk with my drawing tablet and my main screen with my large computer where I train my AI. There's also some drawing implements, some other lighting and things. So there's sort of the computer station. Then if we turn, I should back up a little bit. This painting on the ceiling, which is rolled up, you can see there's a newspaper sausage attached to the ceiling right here. That is one of the Pandemic Papers. And then if I go behind the computer station, you'll also see a bunch of stacked up rolls that are very long, that are the entire length of one of the walls. And those are also all Pandemic Papers paintings. I'm hoping to eventually have them be used for a 2030 exhibition. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. Taking us back to this time and these dates as a kind of memorial exhibition for all of the people that died and have become disabled due to COVID. So the second station is this bed. So across from my computer station, there is a maybe hip height raised bed platform that my partner built me. I wish I could stop clearing my throat. And this bed is like my studio bed. It's where I work when I'm ill. I often, my chronic illness symptoms are like highly variable. So having a bed in the studio as a place where like I can lay down while I'm working, while I have all my materials around me, places I can take breaks throughout the day without having to like exit my creative space. Vitally important. Studio bed is the best change we ever made to this room. Next to it is a sort of storage for paper, drawing materials, camera equipment, cables. And then I'm going to turn to the end of the room. There's a big storage closet over here, which you can barely see because it's just covered in stuff. And then, let me turn this light on. This end of the room is all the sewing station. So there is an ironing board, a sewing table that has 3 sewing machines on it. There is a sewing form that's currently covered in like a bunch of brightly colored fabric. And one of the projects, I'll talk about this project in a second. And behind that is storage. So all of this rolled up fabric is all recycled that I've gotten from donations, from Craigslist free, all reclaimed from the landfill. And then down here we just have sort of general storage areas. And so then this project is here. There's a better view of it over here. So this is one of my in-progress pieces. I recently made a wearable art jacket for one of my patrons called Art Armor, and this is the piece that's coming next in the series. It will be a reconfigurable set of garment panels that are all connected with snaps. I haven't figured out the snapping system yet, but we're getting there. So that, let me see if I can show this. So the different sort of combinations of these quilted bias taped panels can be combined in different ways to make garments for any body with any sort of needs or limitations. So that will be the next in the Art Armor series. The first Art Armor piece I made, I don't have here because it's at its host home. And that one is like a custom fit to the specific person that's hosting it. But we're hoping that the next ones are like be able to like be in a gallery with all of the pieces able to be snapped together by anyone while they're in the gallery so that they can wear the art in the gallery, and then the next person can themselves or with a collaborative partner like snap it together into a new object. I think that's mostly everything. There's a big pile of Darkon right here that I got from Craigslist yesterday. Highly recommend Craigslist. Yeah, storage, big storage closet for fabric and older projects. Storage down here. There's a printer. That's probably it. If you have other like specific questions, there's more storage under the bed. There's more storage in the garage. Yeah, that is my space.